series of tapes, Psychology versus Theology, were recorded from classes held this year with the master teacher, Dr. Malachi York, also known to us as Naya Malachi L and Avenue Rakha, our own Pharaoh. Now listen with an open mind and heart as our Grand Master explains you with only the truth. Allow your inner life to flow again and stamp out misinformation with only the facts. And now listen to the Supreme Grand Master, Naya Malachi L.
One James. And he said, after God put the body, and he said to the devil, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. Why does Adam think God would not recognize or see nakedness as shame as God created Adam naked? See, when they show you the creation of Adam, and then these tapes, they show a man and the ground, just come together, his body, and he walk away. So God didn't see Adam with Rebecca? God doesn't see you when you're in the shower? God don't see you when you're in the bathroom? Wait a minute, he clothes himself off from certain places? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to jar something. You know, that's all I want to do is jar. I only got a couple more lines there with this. Just want to jar something, all right? Because if you want to go back and read this at home, you're going to see a lot of little things there. God throws something new. Adam was hiding. You understand what I mean, though, right? Come on, man, get it back. Come on, God, good. Okay, easy, go back, nothing. And he says, now let's check this. God said, and he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? God is asking the question. Again. He's asking Adam, who told you was naked? Even God knew that they shouldn't have known that they were naked. You see that? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded? Now, this is a commandment. Then there are at least 11 commandments, not 10. Because I just said one here, and this is not in Exodus. Don't talk about no 10 commandments, and the first one right here is in Genesis, chapter 3, verse 11. God says, I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat. So it means man does have the will to go contrary to what God commands. So God does not have the power to make men do things. Huh? That's not what Exodus says. Exodus says God hardened the heart of Pharaoh. He changed the way Pharaoh thinks. God came down to earth and babbled all the tongue and changed the way people talk. So why did God do that here? Well, this is different God. It's maybe this God has the same power as God. Because the word of God, the word of us, talking to somebody walking around God. Alright? And the Lord God said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? He said to the man. There's something missing here now. It's called squealing. Tell the guy that's out. I did verse 12. And the man said, the woman whom you gave me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did huh? Then had the apple together. She cut him into the apple, okay. Now when the stuff gets off, the first thing man does is turn around and says, the woman. And then that's who he blames. God, you gave it to me. And she made me eat it. Now we play like the man the way like we're so bad. I'm right so he looked at that like he said, punk ass nigga. It's trying to stay for me. All right. She gave it to me, and I did it. Now the woman said, and the Lord God said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent tricked me, beguiled me, and I did it. The devil tricked her. So the devil did something evil. Before she knew what good and evil was. And then she learned good and evil after the devil, who did something evil, made her do something evil. That wasn't evil, because she learned good and evil. Doesn't that sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo? That's what it's supposed to sound like, but you're not supposed to be able to understand. So you just go on with blind faith like Muslim Christians and Jews do, and then accept it. Because it sounds like it's too complicated. Oh, okay, not the city church. Or in the mosque, this is great. What the hell are you going to say? Long as heaven will get you. That's what happened to us. And now that we are waking up, coming out of a coma state, a spell is being lifted, we're starting to see things. You take this story. We warn you now. If you take this story to your local church, they're going to stone you, you know. They're going to say, what manner of blaspheming person is you listening to? Come up in hell with that stuff. You better not bring that stuff in there. It just happens to be real. They don't want reality. This chapter goes on. Let me over here. Hold on. Continue straight down to a bunch of more stuff where they say the devil sees the woman's seed. How does the devil get a seed? Snakes don't have seeds in their eggs. The serpent here is not a snake. So how do you get on his belly crawling around and eating dust? Snakes don't eat dust. Now, the last part of that. After Adam and Eve ate of the apple, did they die? Did God say when they eat they're going to die? Did the devil say that's not true? Who was the liar? Now you say, I can say, you think about which one of them told the truth. I'm not telling you to believe in the devil. I'm saying you the one is the God and you the one is the devil. It's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of crap. Something enslaved us. So we don't realize that we are God and that we are the devil. Human beings. There's good amongst us and there is bad amongst us. There's white devils and black devils and white angels and black angels. You're having a hard time finding white angels. Yes.
I want to know if quantum physics has a relationship with the number 4, and if so, you could
Because the word quantum?
Yes.
Yes, insofar as quantum physics deals with quantities. And they deal from north, south, east to west. It's like saying the all again. But it deals boundaries. You know what I'm saying? It's saying that there's a north, south, east, and west. And that all things are contained within it. We still put it in. The all takes you a step further than quantum. You follow that? That's all that is. It says, yes, as far, quantum means, as far as you can go that way, that way, and that way, and that way. As far as you can go, without how far you go. You follow? There is. But,
so that's a step further than quantum?
Well, I'm show you what. Quantum has a beginning of, has to have a origin to travel in any direction. And in ancient Egypt, we refer to this as a black dot. The source, primary source of all life. That was ancient source where quantum physics came out of, the black dot. So, yes, quantum physics is within the all also. Quantum physics is boundaries within the all, meaning if I get extreme left and I reach the epitome of what I can be, right? And of course, if I'm extreme left, there's definitely extreme right or south or north. That would be the ultimate of quantum. Quantum physics confines it to a possibility, where the all takes it to an impossibility for comprehension or logic.
So what you're saying, they're not taking us in the direction of quantum physics, they're taking us in the direction beyond.
I'm taking you to the dot, and from the black dot, you'll start the journey, and you will determine how far you want to take the fact. But when I finish teaching you, the rest is going to start happening in your head anyway. You might take this chapter up and by yourself later. So I'm taking you to quantum, and now I move back into all, and I'll meet you down there later. Down the line, follow? If you meet me in there, you'll be standing at another point in quantum. If I'm saying I've been made here, I'm going a little further. You follow? How far can we go? No, we can't. We can just keep going. We are. Infinite, don't fall for it. Infinite is infinite state. It is a part of quantum. Infinite is limited also.
That's why you put that in the Holy Tablets like that.
That's right. In that infinite. That's right. Anything else? Yes, sir.
I asked a question earlier about priesthood of Joshua.
Of Jesus?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And John the Baptist.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The same lineage.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Now, they make reference to David or
David.
right? Being a descendant, Yaakov being a descendant of David, right?
Right.
How could that be if the lineage came through Joseph? You know, the David's lineage came through Joseph, and he was a physical blood father.
Because Joseph was also of the family of Israel. Well, that's why they say Yah ben Israel. They refer back to Jacob's seed and how all of them are related. You follow that? And when you get back to Jacob, you're back before David. So regardless of where the tribes went, including Ephraim and Manasseh, who were part of Egyptians, they would all still get the same blood. And because the covenant was supposed to pass through David according to Psalm 22 and Psalms 2, the two chapters match up with each other, that proved that David was the Messiah, that David was a mischief maker, a troublemaker. And they were supposed to bring the Lion of Judah, which when they say a lion's whelp, they mean a little child. When a brother who's a Rastafari uses the word Irie. Irie is the Hebrew word for a young lion. And out of this young lion was supposed to come this Savior, who was supposed to be a form of a God incarnate. That's why he's called Yeshua, meaning in Hebrew, a Savior. You follow what I'm saying? So regardless of what David did and the corruption of the seed, according to them, Yahweh was keeping it pure, and that's why they say, and you see in the New Testament, where they see the seed of David, they say sperma in Greek. The sperm of David, meaning David had how many wives? And they all were mixed up, and Jesus came out of one of them. That's what they're saying. They don't have the facts to take it back like you're questioning. They don't, they can't. Go back and chop it, and that's in our book. And they actually give you a quote from Mary, too, her side of the family. Yes?
I was looking in the Webster Dictionary under the word tetragrammaton, and you know it says tetra, it has something to do with four.
Yeah,
and I know Atan is Egyptian, the word for God, but where does the gram come into?
Okay, that's Brahma.
Brahma.
Yeah. And the reason why I have that problem is that in Hebrew, when we use the word Yod, Hey, Wah, Hey, this is your 1, 2, 3, 4. There are no vowels in there yet. You follow what I'm saying? And that's why they don't know what Yod is. They're taking this letter here and they changed to Veh. Okay? When it's really Wah. Right? This is Yod. This is the 10th letter which symbolizes the hand. They go Yah, Wah. These are two separate words from the ancient cuneiform, which means good and evil. And they represent two different brothers. One was a Yod brother, and the other was a Wah brother. The Yod brother was called Enlil, and the Wah brother was called Enki. The word Ki means earth, where the word geography and geometry comes. The word Lil comes from Ilu, but where the Muslims stole the word Allah from the ancient Sumerians from the sky, Ilu. And the word En, this is a symbol of nobility or descendants. Alright? One has been placed over the earth, and one has been placed over the heavens. And Anu is the ruler of that heavenly sky. They were placed in specific points, while the Bible says God is God of the heavens and earth, and your point. This is where the tetra in Hebrew is coming from. But the Jehovah Witnesses are using and wrong. They're not doing their research to find out that the Torah, especially the first 7 chapters of the Tanakh, as we say in Hebrew, was taken from the book called the Enuma Elish. The 7th chapter was taken from what's referred to as the Gilgamesh epic, who tells the story of Noah as Utnapishtim, his real story. The other one is called the Enuma Elish. Anu Elish, went on Elu, went on high, meaning before we came to earth, we had records called Akasha. When we came to earth, we kept records. These records were taken by mortals, stole by an individual called Su'en, from the word sin, where they get the word sin from, which represents the moon deity again. The word of the moon deity, stole the records and plagiarized the books you're calling the Bible, the Old Testament. And the reason why the Enuma Elish consists of 7 tablets is because that is the number of the mystic number of this Bible. 7 days creation, 7 this, 7 that, because they are in remembrance of the fact that they stole 7 tablets.
and made this fire. That's why she said, this is crap. They took our story, messed them up, added to them, and they don't even make sense when you analyze them thoroughly. Because you try to find out who created the devil, it comes out that God made the devil. You find out where the devil was when after before the earth was shaped, he had to be under the sea because he saw God hovering above the water. So the Spirit of God was hovering above the water, but when you see that, it's from beneath the water. You start pointing to what is it, a reptilian? And as you start pointing, things just don't make sense because they plagiarized it wrong. The same way the 5% came in, took the teachings of the unalive on the so-called lessons, changed them up, made mistakes, and now they got to reinterpret it their own way. It don't make sense because Clarence 13 doesn't fit as a law. Nowhere. They got to go back to Farad and then come back and say Farad and Elijah Muhammad, his messenger. Clarence 13, how does he fit in? Well, he decided to come up. There's no way in the lesson. No, he don't fit in it. Show me in the lesson. Show me the 120. Show me the 140. Show me the 114. Show me the 110 where he gets around there. It's not there. That's what they did. And the problem is, when people make reference to the Bible, you know the one thing they haven't done yet? Is ask anybody to prove this or that. So they'll say, well, what about the Bible? Abraham did this. You say, who is this real? Archaeologists have not proved this right. They never found Jericho. They still trying to find it. Jews are tearing up into right now and found none of the story. They can't find Sodom and Gomorrah. They don't know where, I asked the Muslims, where exactly was Adam created? Exactly. Give me a geographical location. Where? They don't know. Where did Noah's Ark land exactly? They do not know. They say Mount Torah. Where's Mount Torah? There's no way it's not in Jewish records. They made up a mountain. Where did Moses meet God in the mountain? Mount Sinai. Where's Mount Sinai? There's no such thing called Mount of Sin, the moon mount, for the worship of the moon god. And that's why they have the calf up there, because the calf horns represented in ancient Egypt, the two horns represented in Christ. They don't know. They stole our culture and they turned it into a religion. And fed it back to us as Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And we run around cursing people out, holding the Bible like we know what we're talking about. This great fear is us finding our way back to our ancestors before we die. And made that great ethereal parent. That's the greatest fear. But we have power there. You follow that? I got one more question. Let's do one. Sphinx was said to used to have wings, right? They said. Why? Let me add that. Yeah. Don't misunderstand me. If you do Babylonian studies, you will find Sphinx amongst the Sumerians with wings. Right? And they're saying that the Sumerians, or people who lived in Sumeria, ancient Babylon, or Chaldea with Abraham lived at, they crossed the tide which is praise God. The Christians will tell you, and the Jews and Muslims will tell you, that Abraham was born in a place called Ur of Chaldea. And then he migrated across the tide which is praise. And when he Ezra, or Ibrid, when he crossed over, he inherited the title Hebrew for moving across. And then he went on over. Now, whose seed was there already? Noah had a seed. And after the flood, according to them, Noah's seed, one of his sons, had a son named Mizraim in the Bible, and that's Egypt. So they had left that area with the same Babylonians and took the custom, tradition, the dress, and went over to Egypt. And brought the Sphinx concept there of the beast man, the sign in astrology of Leo in the sky. So when you see that spirit come back around, know that the knowledge of the pyramids are coming forth again. We are moving now in the Aquarian age. We lived by this constellation years ago. People call it the zodiac. In the modern science, they refer to a great queen. They call her Zodiacus. Zodiacus is another way of saying the zodiac. And they're talking about who? Hathor. Because this here is called the sky of the temple of Dendora, which is in Hathor's temple, and it represents our relationship to the stars and how we got to this planet. We knew how we got here. We knew the star Cyrus called Solstice that we came by way of here. We knew about the Dragos and how they got here. Believe you me, when I said the Europeans came from another planet and it was right, they called me crazy again. Now on news this week they said they found life on Europa. By Jupiter. That's what I told them. They're shooting at Jupiter because they're trying to generate life to go back to their planet. They're trying to get out of here. Now that they've messed up this planet, our planet, they're trying to get out of here. You understand? They're trying to get to the moon. They're trying to get anywhere to escape the wrath of our gods that are coming in the sky. And some lunatic Amorites, or Tamil, whoever you call them, in the temple of Seti, the first in ancient Egypt, when we grafted them, we burned them as Tamil. Some of them read into the book, went nuts, and committed suicide. Trying to go and meet the devil. Thinking they're going to make contact with our ancestors that the Amorites knew was coming for us. And your grandmother was talking about that good ship, Jesus. She was coming out of here. She was coming out of this book right here, Revelation, chapter 21. And I saw a new heaven. Listen to that. And a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. The way you look at things now, heaven and earth and sea will be gone. This is the Bible, book of Revelation, chapter 21, is prophesied. That John, son of Zebedee, received while in out of house in prison. You know? And people said, how did he get his message out of prison? So he died in prison, and his disciples took his message. His writings out. They snuck it out. Okay. And here it says, and I, John, saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her. But when Babylon said, he saw a fine saucer and lying down was on it, the whole Christian world, all the newspaper called the man of night. But they go right to their Bible. John, who's the so-called beloved disciple of Jesus, described seeing a flying saucer. He said, I, John, saw a holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. As you go back to the Lord's Prayer, Matthew chapter 6, it says, Our Father, who art in heaven. John saw a whole city coming down out of heaven from God. And now behind hell box, they said this big massive light poured down the side of the earth. And they said it was intelligent. And they were like, wanting everything is out. When was some Nikes and tried to run up and get it like that. They ain't coming for them. And they know they're not coming for them now, but they ain't nothing changed since they committed suicide. So the government shot at it. And now you see Hellbox has turned. Right after they said, they have now developed a new type of aircraft that carries a new type of warhead, and one of them, that disappeared. It's on the news right now. And they had the audacity to say, we think the man was having a depression, right, and he might have been trying to commit suicide. But anybody in here that has ever been in the military knows they're not going to let no man who's having an argument with his wife test a new high-tech craft. Come on, y'all. All y'all never in the military, y'all might not know that. But we know they're not. They got to go and sit before a psychiatrist before they go into the air. He has to prove their mental state, especially when he's taking up bombs. Now, he has disappeared. Now, they got smart bombs that can shoot their way into a window that small from 10,000 feet, but they can't find a whole jet or in a certain 10-mile or 20-mile area. Extraterrestrial disaster. They were shooting up there. And they told you on the news that something told that the sun had exploded. The first time they'd ever seen the sun explode like this, and from the sun a massive ball is coming here in one day, 93 million miles away. But it's supposed to take them months to get to the moon, months to get to Mars. But it's going to get here from the sun in one day. Now they just told you that they can get from this planet to the sun in one day. And Einstein had already broke down the speed of light, how to travel at the speed of light and sound. But this thing that was on its way to Earth curved. And right after that, now you look up, tail back to curve. They're trying to send it towards Earth. Because their prophecies of wormwood says that a meteorite will hit the Earth. Let me go here. It says right here in your Bible again. Here it says in Revelation chapter 9. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven upon the earth. And to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. So the earth has a pit in it. We call it Shambhala from other stuff. You say it's not there. They say that this stone or this star is going to hit the earth, is going to go straight down and open up the bottomless pit. Not the bottomless pit of the lake of fire, because that does not have enough to penetrate earth to get to the lake. Now watch it says. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a great smoke,
out of the pit as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were all darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. It's called a mushroom. They found them in a dust cloud. And there came out of the smoke locusts. Locusts don't fly through smoke, no insects will. Locusts upon the earth. They came out of smoke and came and started to land on earth. Did you notice? And it came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth. And unto them was given power. Someone gave locusts power? Unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. Number 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt. Someone tells a locust not to hurt something? Shall not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. So somebody is commanding these locusts that came out of the earth and tell them don't mess with the trees and anything like just human beings who have not been marked. Now also at 13 they speak about the mark of the beast. Go on. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. Total radiation fallout, 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. When a man is stung by a scorpion, he swells up, he gets puffed, it's no radiation. See somebody? You do fallout. And in those days shall man seek death and shall not find it. Commit suicide. For nothing. They'll want to die when their bodies are peeling and the skin is falling off from the bones. Okay? And in those days man shall seek death and shall not find it. And shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. They'll be allowed to lay here and suffer. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto a horse prepared for battle. Locusts don't fly in formation. They don't get around where these locusts are. And on their heads were as the crowns of gold. They saw the sun's light reflecting off the gold of the windows of the clouds. They were flying in formation because you need gold within them for the sun. You understand that? Mm-hmm. And their faces were the faces of men. Tiger fighters, where they draw on them, they deny it back, they draw on the faces of men with teeth on bombers. Mm-hmm. 8. And their hair as the hair of a woman, and their teeth were the teeth of lions. See, they do these things, they draw them, they look like human beings. So they describe it. And they had breastplates. You looked up and saw it was iron on the locusts. You know when they got locusts with a breastplate? But about if it's a metal craft, and I'm John, son of Zebedee, in the year 96, I don't know what a plane is yet. When I look up and I see all this smoke, and I see these things come out from behind and smoke flying in formation, they look like, you ever see what do you call that thing, the Concorde jet? Looks like a large grasshopper, which was created by France for war, but right now being used for domestic transportation. It's too loud to fly over most things and too fast. As a war weapon, which will be very important, like the one that you said. I need all of it. In this Bible, it tells you about all these events that's taking place right now. Say nothing, you know. Flying saucers coming here, it's Revelation 21, it's all in there. Not in Ezekiel. A whole city's coming, prepared for you. If you are prepared, like a bride is coming. If you're groomed, like a groom, you get yourself ready. Don't, you won't go. Not your time to be married, you won't make it. They call it the marriage of the Lamb. And they tell you there that Jesus will be on us when he comes. And that he will be there with his God. Don't say that Jesus is in charge there. That he will be there with his God. You see? It's all right there. Yes, in the back.
I was talking to some people Israelites and they were telling me about, the time to go in, we got children in the earth for 3 days, 2 nights, and they were saying how it was 2 Sabbaths, and one on Wednesday, so there was a feast of unleavened bread, and I told the brother, well, that's the Passover which happened before.
Pesach, they call it.
Pesach, yeah. So therefore, couldn't get that Wednesday before the Friday as they say.
All you gotta do is tell them, show you in the Bible, see, it's simple, say, show me the Bible here where it says 2 Sabbaths. Well, that's how it has to be your interpretation. You ain't God, fool. You say
said, you're a servant of God. I said, I'm God. So I'm asking you in this Bible here. Show me where it says this inside. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, and the comparative of Jonah is a book that I wrote 20 years ago. I mean, so they're just getting around to it. The Hebrew Israelites or the Hebrew church, they have a problem with the book, you know, the 60 question answer. They came around there and they're so busy on that road. They don't know what they're talking about. You wasting your time. And I can give you comparisons to Jesus and the Jonah story 3 days and nights, but it all come down to going against what they believe. You know why? Because you tell them, let me ask you a question then, brother. Was Jonah alive while he was in the earth, in the whale's belly? Was he alive while he was in the whale's belly according to the Bible? Yes. Did he emerge from there alive? Yes. Was Jesus alive? Or did he die and resurrect? Because they're Christians, they believe in the resurrection of Jesus. So when you get to a certain point in the likeness between Jonah and Jesus, you'll find that Jonah was alive and Jesus is supposed to be dead. And that just boils the comparison. You can't say everything is alike except the reality of life and death. Is he or is he? You know? Yes?
I want to ask you, who was the beings that Ezekiel saw that came from the wheel?
He saw Aldebaran.
Because I was trying to understand what he was saying, the man face, the ox face.
There was he saw Aldebaran. That's what he saw. It was not our me. But it's not a good thing. Yes, somebody else? Yes. Huh? The whole book is questions, but someone was sitting down and asking the question. Yeah. Risk-keying. Why the women come down in the form of well-made men to earth? Oh, okay, I think I got that question. The question was, I was asked, are there any such thing as female risk-kings? I said yes. But if they're assigned to come to earth, they're incarnate in a male form. That was what? There's no reason other than the fact that the commanding officer of the building demanded that their incarnation be in male form. So as not to have the concept of men and women in strife on earth. That's why. No mystical reason at all. Just the choice. See, a rich king can incarnate anywhere they feel like, when they put them in physical form. They can take on any form they want. Because they can take it, or they incarnate. It's like you were. You can become a perfect form, you can come out his form. You have a lot to do. Your lifestyle, your diet, your life, genetics has a lot to do with you, but you incarnate. Incarnate never means become physical. That's all it means, to become conscious. Well, let me get there when you go in prepared. I didn't want to be, I had to, like the talking about. Revelation chapter 20, verse.
Right. I had a question earlier, that the devil will be bound for 1,000 years, and then it will be.
Right.
And I was wondering, why would he believe that he was bound for so long? After such a deep, why did he really act to that, or is that another?
No, that's definitely a fact. Because when we do this math, there's not a lot, okay? When we do our calculations, and the devil is 4,004, who is Adam of the Bible, right? That is the devil. And this is also, the name is also Canaan, or Lebanon. That's the day today. This just means no. All right. He was 4,004. Come down to Jesus, come down here at 2,000, when he started his challenge. Right? From here up. 4,000 down to Jesus. That's why Christians say they think Jesus was born around 4, but they're trying to get rid of his stomach. 4 BC, we're not sure, but we calculated by the time Herod died, tracing back, and that exactly they came out to 7. If it's over, but it's all right. So we make this 4,000, and we add on, right, 4,000 down to Jesus, and then 2,000 should be now 1,997. Right? That's what we are now? And we're going to fast in the day here. Jesus is the Gregorian calendar what we use. We are now in the year 1,997, or 1,997 years after Jesus' so-called year 1. Correct? Their Adam, according to them, was 4,000 years before Jesus. When you combine the 4,000 years and 1,997, you come down to 5,997 years. Where we're at right now. Leave us, how many years? 3 years to bring it to the year 2,000. You combine the 2,000 to 4,000, what do you come up with? However, the Bible is not based on the number 6, is based on number. It was short one. So when the devil's time is up, this 6,000-year period, which ended already, he's already on the decline, he still has a 1,000-year grace period, depending what happens to this millennium. And the millennium of this countdown started in days last Sunday. Last Sunday was the first day of 1,000 days into the bringing to the year 6,000. Depending on what we do between now and then, will depend on whether this thing goes on to 2030, or because we're already up from 1970, that was 30 years, but that's not a complete hour. You need 60 seconds to make a complete hour, so you need 60 years to make a complete cycle. So if you go from the year 2000 to 2030, if there ever gets another extension time by a galactical blood, which is called, you're not ready. And this is why we are pouring out so much information now. Now, if you think I'm doing all these books are crazy, and we're pouring out so much information now, but you don't have a lot of time. You got 1,000 days. And that's his great period, that 1,000 last 1,000. You follow that? If we succeed, he's through. He's out of here. If we fail, he gets another 1,000 years to complete the seven cycle. And he'll be released from that chain and loose on man again.
Just a notification, I was with a brother yesterday. He went by the Atlanta Public Library and got a book on Egyptology. And in the book, it had a lot of pictures of the hieroglyphs on the Egyptian wall, and a lot of the figures that have been embossed on the wall. Mm-hmm. And they got Anu and all the characters you were talking about, they got it.
Yeah,
they're in the book.
Yeah, that's right.
So, this is just a reaffirmation in my spirit. Yes, we are on track.
Yeah, we're on track. Yeah.
I have to tell you this, but I don't quite understand. Tell me, what exactly is the connection between the solar plexus and the sun that shines bright?
This is a human head, solar plexus, down. All right? This here, that is the word meaning sun. Solar. Right? They phonetically altered when they want to talk Greek and Latin and different languages, and German and Old English and New English and moving around. But the first letter is G, not the R. R is ancient deity. R is the word of the sun. Alright? When they used to draw pictures of Jesus years ago, I haven't seen one recently, the elders say, they all draw pictures of Jesus, he had a little torch burning here. And they would show him pointing like this. They put his hands like this. They're presenting you with the Knights of Columbus, referred to as a sacred heart. Sometimes they show hands on his symbol. All right, Knights of Columbus preceded, unbeknownst to most people, the Freemasons as the Alhambra. The Islamic Lodge introduced the Islamic Lodge of Moors called Alhambra because the Alhambra Mosque in Spain. Before the Arabic order got introduced in America in the 18th century. By Birmingham. Most people think the Shriners were the first ones here. No. The Moors initiated Abraham, George Washington's guys, in the Moorish Lodge, but that was in the Knights of Columbus, because they were all Catholics when they came here. They were not Christians or Presbyterians. They became Freemasons. Freemasons didn't get here until after that. And the shrine that they're coming from into America now, the so-called ancient Arabic shrine, is the white. The ancient Egyptian Arabic shrine is the black. The Egyptian part is added. So it was the Moors, us, who initiated them in Alhambra, right? That branch of our doctrine long before Freemasonry got into their genes. The last month that Abraham got inducted in the Masonic Lodge, and he was the wrong way there. Didn't the book say the Masonic Lodge? He just got here in 1887. How did that happen? Because the Knights of Columbus and Robert Crucians did go back before the Masonic. Now, I can question again, but at that point, so in my mind, I blocked everything up first.
I wanted to know what was the exact connection between solar plexus and the sun that shines.
Okay, now I feel like I lost in the sacred heart of the Columbus. All right, there is a central sun in man. Here, the Hindus and everybody refer to it as the crown and the seat chakra or the heart chakra. All the way token, it actually can be seen as a light sometimes when they x-ray the chest. They actually see it like a luminous light here. But if you drink alcohol, taking alcohol beverage, you get a burning sensation, like it flares up. Now, this power of light is different in different people. Some people have a greater, and some people it is also called spontaneous combustion, where it can cause fuses with outside gas and refer to the stove. Europeans don't have a power on, very low. Like it's in the stove, waiting to be cut on. There's a top. Ours is lit back on when what they call, they say stove. Right? It's the same word. You follow that? It's all the same word. It's the central sun. It's inside here. It's our side. It's our soul. That's all it is. You follow? And it's there. If you actually get in the fire, yes, it's a form of fire. The question I raised years ago in the hell book is, how many kinds of fire are there? And I told the Muslims. There's gas fire, there's a wood fire, and a coal. How many kinds of fire? This is the unique kind of fire that's burning it. It's not really by wood, but it needs oxygen to burn. And you get that oxygen as you breathe in. And it fuels in your lungs. Sure? Yes.
Microwave pump from the body.
Not now. There were one time. Now, a lot of things that were dangerous when they first came out, like television, things and all of that, they curbed them because they get affected by radiation worse than we do. Get radioactive, and then we saw, you see this back in the Western, we saw it everywhere. They get fused right out. Yes.
It talked about how there was a ship above keeping the inner sun from making contact with the outer sun, right? Mm-hmm. And you had a picture in one of your books where the satellite... Yeah.
In case they come to beat us up when they're on
from the satellite showing the inner Earth.
Right.
Now, why wasn't that ship being able to be detected?
Why wasn't the ship able to detect the hole?
Yeah, you said there's a ship above the Earth,
right,
covering that center hole, right?
That's right, detecting.
Yeah. Now, why wasn't it seen in the picture from the satellite?
Oh, okay, I got that. There's a picture of Earth looks like this, and there's a hole in it, right? They show it. But then they show you this hole here, so you're saying there's a crack here to protect the sunlight from hitting the central sun. The question is, why is it that the satellite didn't pick up this picture? Didn't pick up the craft when it was shooting this picture, right? Because the craft moved. I think sometimes you gotta look at the wrong thing. It's not that it's, wait a minute, these are your people. They're not safe to them. They're not. I mean, it's not that simple. They just move. America is not going this far up. They're not going this far to make a piece of that. They can only go a satellite, circle, satellite, and that. But that ain't beneath it. If beneath what's going on there, it can move. They go to the direction. All directions. Yes.
Why did Earth's atmosphere change from methane, ammonia, water vapor to what it is now?
Because of explosions on the surface of the sun, like that thing you're talking about. There's 7 solar flares here that are altering our atmosphere all the time. This is the planet Earth doing right now. What they don't teach you about is what's referred to, they do, but you gotta check it. It's called a whirling vortex. Right? It is there. And it's at 32 degrees. Across the planet, across the sun, anything is always the same thing. You follow? What we have is things coming into the Earth's atmosphere constantly hitting the planet. Hundreds of meteorites to the planet within a week. They don't tell you about it. Some of them are bringing in alien chemicals that are altering our atmosphere. Now, here we go. Planet Earth, 23-degree axis. Right? It's spinning. This needle spins on every 26,000 years. You follow that? When this doubles itself, this whole crust of the planet shifts. Things that were here, you're finding out, that soil samples of Central Park in New York has proven to have sand particles that came from the analytes in Central Park. Showing that this whole thing is like the planet is like an orange with a crust on it. And the land mass is all connected. There really are no oceans on the planet Earth. That is not. There's no such thing as the Atlantic, the Pacific, and the Indian Ocean because they're all one. You don't have no, how do you separate the water? The land mass is giving you the impression that you separate the water. But if you go south, you can travel from the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean straight to the Pacific Ocean. That means there's one mass of land. One mass of water, and the land mass is shifting. And therefore we're getting chemical change because the fact that let's say America produces certain things like slate and coal And other parts of the planet might produce other things. I was thinking this way. If you're driving from New York to New Jersey, right, to Philly, what happens is, as an individual, your vehicle passes about 10 different chemical plants. Now, if you stay in this area here alone, these other chemicals won't fuse and it won't damage you. But when you drive across country and you don't analyze the chemical plants that's in that route, as you're driving, you breathe this chemical, and you breathe this chemical, and you breathe this chemical, and if any three of these chemicals mix together, fuse in some kind of bacterial germ, by the time you get here, you're coughing, you don't even know why. This is what happens. The sandstorm, the imbalancement of the planet, the ecology of the planet, right now, the planet is in a total sham. Every place but where you're standing. That's our forces seem to be working around Milwaukee. Every place Caucasians are right now on the planet, there is suffering. There is flood. There is wind. There is storm. There is hurricane. Back to back. They had downfall-side hail falling just the other day. While we're talking right now, the news is on some other part of the planet where Caucasians are. This is not just taking place in America. It's taking place in Russia. It's taking place in Australia. It's taking place all over the planet. Australia, they had an ozone hole that's opened up. It's not affecting the Aborigines. It's affecting the Caucasians. Nature is wiping them out. And I'm saying that to say that because we have different chemicals on different parts of our planet, because the planet broke off from something else, the winds of the vortex is carrying chemicals and it's poisoning the air more and more. And our atmosphere is constantly changing. We're getting more ultraviolet, more gamma, and it in itself is like taking things and putting in a pot and cooking it and watching it change. We are slowly but surely metamorphosizing into some new kind of creature. Human beings are changing, even the way they look is beginning to change. Because the environment will change the way you look. If the air continues to get thick, the nostrils will tend to expand. If that thick air has a lot of dust in it, more hair will go out, you know. If the winds get heavy and sand, your eyes will change. You know, I mean Orientals don't have chinky eyes, they lack lids because they're different. That's another one of his games, chinky eyes. They don't have chinky eyes, they lack lids. Their eyelids, okay? So as the planet is changing, we as the people, as human beings, are changing. We're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Human beings are not as tall as they used to be, not as wide as they used to be. Now people are slowly but surely disappearing. People hear words, can't hear no more. Everything is white. Every time somebody says something to you, you can't hear no more. You can't see. People who don't wear bifocals or glasses are squinting to see. Why? Because of the amount of fumes and poison and oils in the atmosphere getting into the eyes and it's blinding people. You are dying. You're getting sicker and sicker every year and there's nothing you can do. They can take you right now and isolate you and have you spit up. If you stay there for a week, you can spit up maybe a glass full of black soot that's inside your lungs. If they can get you to clean out your bowel system, your colon, it's filled way up in your bloodstream, and this is why you're sick, you got headache, you are dying. I mean, it's not about the white man cutting your heads off. Mother Nature is killing him, and it's affecting you. But he is dying faster than you. He knew that. Amalekites are dying like you would not believe. You know what I'm saying? They're trying everything they can to prevent their death, but they can't. That's what after storms and stuff is going on. And he has been forced to change this, the ecology. He's been forced to knit the sky. Every 6 to 7 days, he knits the sky. That means when you look up, you see these jets and you pull the clouds together so he can keep it raining. He cannot let the sun continue because it'll kill him. And he's trying to stay south as long as he can. Don't go north. He's going north. Stay south. He will have to get out of here. You cannot take the sun.